What's going on, lovebirds? In today's video, I'm going to share with you a couple of my do's and don'ts for when it comes to being angry in a relationship. So if you're in a fight or if your partner has done something that's pissed you off, what do you do when you get angry in your relationship? A couple of things that I do. One, I remember that we are in love and we care for one another, and that if we're angry at something, it's probably a misunderstanding. So that's one big thing. I always stop and think, okay, I chose this person, I like me, so I think I know what's good for me. And so I always stop it and take a breath before I dive into allowing my angry feelings to take over my brain and say a bunch of nonsense that I know I'm going to regret later. So one of the things that I do is I stop and I think before I speak. And the second thing I don't do is I don't yell or scream. Jeremy and I, we're not yellers, we don't scream. There's no sense in raising your voice because you're not talking to a child who's not listening. You're talking to another person, another human, another equal to you, so you shouldn't be yelling at one another. It's really just nonsense, and it gets you nowhere. And 9 times out of 10, if you're yelling, you're already allowing your anger to take over, so therefore you're already acting like an ass, and so you're probably not going to get the desired results you want. Number 3, we don't leave the room. We stay here and we stick it out. Jeremy and I have what I call surface problems, which means when we do have moments of anger, moments of misunderstanding or disconnection, we figure it out right then and there. Because a huge problem that I have found is in most relationships is you will have a fight, you will leave the room, leave one another and cool down, and then you will come back and act as though things didn't happen, or you'll just avoid it or ignore it, and that makes it worse. And so next time when you get into a fight, you can be triggered by old things that haven't been resolved, and you'll bring them up because you're just trying to look at things to just throw at one another, metaphorically, of course, in order to make yourself feel better, I suppose. So a couple of do's and don'ts. Do stop and think about the fact that you did pick this person, you do love this person, it's a misunderstanding, and we need to calmly and effectively figure out how to solve it. Number 2, do not yell at one another. You're not freaking yelling at your own kids. I just think yelling in general is stupid and rude and irresponsible, and you should speak to each other like respectable adults. And number 3, don't leave the situation unresolved. Don't leave the room physically at all. Don't leave one another, because even though you're not actually leaving that person, when you remove yourself from the room, or walk away from the person that you're with, it's like you're saying to them, I don't have time for you right now. I don't want to be around you right now. And if you are saying that, it's just very hurtful. Whenever that's your partner and your soulmate person, whatever, they're supposed to be there for you and they're leaving. So it's just never a good idea to physically leave the room, because it sends a wrong message to your body, to your mind, to the relationship. It's never a good idea to leave the room, and it's never a good idea to leave the conflict unresolved, because then you will have all these problems that you're burying, and every time you get into a fight you're going to bring one up, and it's like you can't even help it. So stick with surface problems. Have an issue, it arrives, whatever, it comes up, and you deal with it, and you remember while you're dealing with it that you love this person, you respect this person, and the last thing you want to do is make them feel as though you don't. And so yeah, when you're arguing, think before you speak. Don't yell at each other, and don't walk away from each other, and keep the argument concealed into that one moment. Don't drag it into the next part of your life. Don't continue to be angry, and when you say you're over it, be over it. Keep yourself right here at the surface, where you got just surface problems, meaning the next time you got a problem, it's on the surface. You don't have to worry about past shit because you done brought it up. You've already resolved it, it's gone. So yeah. All right. Those are my 3, I suppose, maybe even 4 do's and don'ts for being angry in a relationship. Remember, God is love, and love is patient. Love is kind. It is not take offense. It is slow to anger. So when you're in love with somebody and you care about them, it should be very simple and very easy and very not crazy when you're in a fight, because disagreements will happen. That's part of life, but you don't have to turn into an ass to solve them. All right. I thank you for watching. If this video was any kind of help to you, I hope that you'll subscribe and like and all that other jazz.